Alright, hello, Mr. Robot. Let's see if I can do this without screwing it up. Um, I just got done watching season 1, okay? And I saw a couple of interesting things. In fact, there was several interesting things all the way through the show, but I just want to pick on one reference in the whole thing to keep this short, sweet, and simple. We're going to have a quick look at the two main characters, just the actors themselves, and we're going to look at some of the release dates for this show, okay? And then that's it. So it's going to be a pretty quick one, okay? So Mr. Robot, look, we got the Rob right in the middle there, the old Bob, the 88 reference right in the middle of the name, which is interesting. And let's go into some of the numbers with the release date of this thing. For those of you that have not seen the show yet, for those of you that have, you'll already know what it's about. But basically, it's about bringing down the Matrix. Okay, that's really all I want to say about it. It's about bringing down the Matrix, and basically wiping the slate clean. That's interesting, with Christian Slater playing one of the roles. Wiping the slate clean and having like a jubilee where debt is forgiven. Okay, it's not being intentionally forgiven by the system itself, but without giving too much away again, what is happening is there's a hack going on, and basically everybody's records is going to be wiped clean. Okay, so it's a cleansing, if you like, of debt. Again, with the reset of the Matrix, the destruction of the Matrix, this is all the same idea. You know, this is a mega corporate super entity that's controlling literally most of the world, and that's what they're getting rid of. Okay, and that's the symbolism there. So again, the guy that's playing the hacker role, which is Rami Malek, he's playing that role. What we've got going on is he's the son. He's kind of lost his way a little bit, and the father keeps popping in to help him, guide him. Okay, so you can get the symbolism there of the son and the father. And yeah, let's look at some of these dates, because these are interesting, these dates. Okay, because I expect you could spend hours and hours and hours decoding this thing, to be quite honest. But the first thing is season 1. Okay, June 24th release. Okay, so we have that idea of again, I was just talking about this in the last video. It's St. John's Day, it's Midsummer's Day, it's the equivalent idea in the middle of summer as what we have in winter with Christmas. Okay, we have the winter solstice, and this is basically around the summer solstice, this one. And we have St. John the Baptist, which is the precursor, similar idea to Jesus. So it's almost like a twin date. Okay, and so I would invite everybody to go and check out the Champlain Towers collapse. You know, the one where the pool deck collapsed first and then everything caved in. Had to be the pool deck that started the thing off, because if you watch that collapse, okay, the footage that they've got there, CCTV footage or whatever, it looks like a dam collapsing with water flowing through it. I've done that decode ages ago, and there's probably a ton more stuff to it now in hindsight, and if I was to go back over it, I'd probably find a load more numbers that were relevant to this 5/9 date that I've been looking at. But again, we got the 24th. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on with the 24th. Old Shep. Okay, Elvis's song. Okay, so it's just absolutely loaded, this date. Again, last aired September the 2nd. Okay, there's our 2/9 date. For those of you that don't follow the channel, I'm going to go in and show you very, very briefly why that 2/9 date is significant and how it ties back into another date that we're going to be looking at with with some references in this show. Okay. Again, the 713 date here for the second season release. Okay, that's super significant to everything that I've been showing you up to this point. Okay, that's a heavy reference. And then again, we've got a 129 reference with the September the 21st here for the last aired on season 2. Then on season 3, we've got the 11th of October, our 10/11 date. That's in this date here ties directly into the 11/10 date, or November the 10th date, that is in the dollar bill, that is encoded in the dollar bill, the pi date. Okay, super important. This whole thing is ridiculously loaded, to be quite honest. Then we've got a 1213, which is a 123, or a 213 reference, which again, that's in the dollar bill, and that is also our Lucas number reference. Then we've got the 6th of October, that's also in the table. I may be able to do that reference, and also the 1222, which actually I think that would be the day after winter solstice. I don't know when it was in 2019. It possibly, I can't remember if the winter solstice goes 20 and 21 of December, or if it's 21st and 22nd that it alternates between. I'm not sure. I think it's 2 dates for the winter solstice, and I think it's 3 for the summer. I don't know without going and actually looking at it, but I can't be bothered. But anyway, so super interesting dates there. Let's go to the chart of Lorraine, and we'll have a look at some of these dates showing up. Okay. Okay. Oh, I've already got one. I don't want that highlighted yet. We'll come on to that one in just a second. Again, there's our one of those last dates, the 10/6. Again, to do with the number 15, and the number 15 is to do with this right here. Okay. The metaphysical column. If you're new here, just go check this video out. Okay, that'll explain what we're looking at here. But these are basically balancing numbers with the golden ratio encoded in them. Okay, as all of nature has the golden ratio encoded in it, it would make sense to look at numbers to do with balance that have the golden ratio encoded in them. Here's our 713 number. Okay, here it is again. Okay, so this is important, this 713 number, because it forms an L back to this 53, which is again super duper important. Again, this is, I mean, I don't know how long I really want to spend explaining the same stuff over and over again. Just go check out my recent videos. This 53 is explained. Okay. What other numbers did we have there? Can't remember now. Hang on a minute. Let's go back to this and just have a look. What the 29. I'll explain the 29 real quick, and the 129, and then we'll be done with that. Okay. So the 29 shows up here. The important thing about 29 is this is our central balance point for the whole table. Okay, where this X is here, and what we've got going on here is 29 is the perfect amalgamation of 11 and 18. Okay, and 11 and 18 are showing you each different side of reality, the metaphysical or the spiritual, and then the physical. Okay, so 29 is a balancing number that represents the two sides of reality pretty well. Okay, so this 29 number is super important, and so it's showing up there quite a bit. And what we have going in this table is we have a diagonal. We actually have an X marks a spot, right? But what we're looking at here is, again, we're looking at some numbers here and some numbers here that are important right now. Okay, because there's from 9/11/2001. Okay, so from 9/11/2001, if we go 7,000 810 days, which is half of this 11 here in the center. Sorry about the scribble, but so if we do 7,810 days, it's going to take us to January the 29th, okay? So there's our 129 reference, okay? Back to referencing this perfect balance here, okay? Now if we do the next set of number jumps, which is coming down this diagonal, same diagonal actually, but on this side of the leg now. If we go 7,910 days, we will get to the 129th day of the year, okay? And the 129th day of the year is this day right here, okay? This 5-9 day. This is going to be important here in just a second, okay? But you can see that 129 is super important with this, the encoding here, okay? This 29 is super important, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because we've just seen it there in those release dates, okay? Along with, numbers like this, okay, that highlight this next set of numbers up, which is this 5-9, which is the 9th of May, which is the 129th day of the year, okay? And of course, again, the 7-1-3 highlights this 29 here, okay? And if you follow my decodes, 29, the 2 and the 5 are interchangeable. So this 5-9 can also be read as a 2-9, okay? Or even a 2-6. So this is where Kobe's date comes in and is important as well. Okay, so noting all that scribble in mind, okay, which I actually want to get rid of, all of that rubbish for now, because we'll probably come back to this here in just a second. These dates are super important release dates, okay? So let's just go and have a look at the two main starring. Number one is Rami, he's the hacker guy, and then the father, Christian Slater. I'm picking on him as being the main character. Obviously, there's several other main characters in this show, but I'm picking on Christian Slater, okay, because of the name, and also wiping the Slater clean, with the money thing going on. He's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, we could spend hours just on Christian Slater. Let's just note one thing, okay? The August the 18th birthday, okay? So if we go back to the chart, August the 18th, 818 is right here. This is super duper important, because it's in the physical side of the table here, of the balance point here, okay? And again, this the reason why the physical side is so important is because the physical side already has a set of rules encoded in it, okay? This is what makes Jesus our savior, because he's the physical man, okay? He represents the physical side of nature. He represents those 10 commandments, okay? And that's the purpose of having a physical side of nature, okay? All the rules are written down in stone. That is the physicalness that is described as stone, okay? I just can't, you just can't make the point well enough, Dan, that, the whole purpose of the physical side of nature is to have those rules written down, so that when we start using the metaphysical side of nature and our imaginations and our minds and everything, if there's any doubt whether we're doing the right thing or not, we can go and refer back to this thing here. Okay, we can refer back to the 10 Commandments. Okay, I'm starting to get a bit waffly. What else do I want to say about Christian Slater? There's nothing really major that I wanted to go on about him with. I talked about him in a film called Hard Rain years ago now. He shows up with Morgan Freeman, of course, another character that's heavily loaded. But he's in this film Hard Rain, and it just ties back to the Hoover Dam really well, because he's a security guard, armored truck driver, and this armored truck, spoiler alert, is being robbed during a flooding event, okay, where there is a dam that is about to break, and it just tied back nicely with the Hoover Dam, because we had that Pat Tillman bridge incident with the armored truck that blocked traffic on it. Okay, so it tied back really nicely with the Hoover Dam, that film. I guess I probably could have gone and looked at it actually and seen if it had anything, majorly referencing. Here it is right here. Let's just see the release date of this thing. January 16th. Nothing. It's actually got, oh yeah, of course, it's got several release dates. April the 3rd. That's interesting as well. May 29th, right there in Denmark. So, I mean, and we've even got a September the 5th in Japan. So I don't know why we had to have all these different release dates. They're covering their bases on it. Again, the May the 29th, super interesting. The September the 5th, of course, that's a 5-9 reference. So again, just that kind of stuff that ties back to people. Okay, forget Christian for a minute now. Let's go to Rami Malek. Okay, kind of sounds similar to the old the old owl, Moloch the owl, Moloch, the owl that is supposedly on the dollar bill. We've covered that in several decodes. Just interesting with that name. Again, this is the guy that basically ends up causing James Bond's death. Okay, I call that the last James Bond, and they killed him off for a reason. Because things are coming to a head, I think, and it's interesting that it was this character that did it. Okay, well, this character, he played a different character, of course, but yeah, it's just interesting. Also, we've got the 12th of May. Let's go to the chart, Lorraine. Let's check the 12th of May out. Read this number backwards. That's the 12th of May. Okay, it cross-references, if we do the times table type thing, 213. Okay, and 213 is the start of these numbers here. Okay, 213 is encoded in the dollar bill. Okay, this number itself, as a 521, I believe, is also another important encoding day, and as 512, or as this day here. Okay, we're just going to condense one of these twos out of here. Okay, and the 1 1/4 or the 125, again, this is the same set of numbers, just reversed. So Christmas with Rami Malek. Okay, what else do I want to say about this chap? Not really anything, to be quite honest. I've said what I want to say about him, for right now at least. What I want to do is I want to show you the last this is the bit that will blow your mind, maybe. Let me show you this last little bit. Okay, so when this event happens, right around the time the event happens in the film, okay, I don't know what to say really about this whole thing. Without spending an hour explaining the whole storyline, all I'm going to say is they end up at the tombstone of his father. Okay, so this could be quite a bit of spoiler alert here, but Edward Alderson. Okay, and we could do the names as well, but I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I just want to look at this date on the tombstone, because the tombstone represents being in the Matrix, yeah, being behind the moon. This is the moon, you're behind that wall, okay? You are dead at this point, okay? This represents being in the matrix, if you like, okay? So it was just interesting that these numbers were on this tombstone, okay? You know, this could be, if you liked, the wall of the dam. Whichever way you want to look at it, this is the matrix, okay? May 9th. Boo. Booyakasha. Okay, there it is. May 9th. There's our 5-9 day. It's the exact day. It's not a, you know, it's not September the 5th, which it could still be September the 5th, but it's May the 9th. And interestingly, we have 1949, which again, 49 this year is Easter Sunday, the resurrection day, okay? Again, do we have a day that is also a resurrection day here with 5-9? Right, so to make it things even better, they've used February the 28th, okay? So the next day after the 28th is the 29th. We know that the 5-9 and the 2-9 are kind of interchangeable. They're kind of reflections of one another. And we know that every 4 years, this is when the 1 comes. Yeah, this is the 1 that comes a quarter every year. There's a quarter added up, and every 4 years the 1 comes. Okay, so we have this 1/4 quarter reference, or 1/25 reference even, with this, with this February the 28th, because the next day every 4 years is when the 1 comes. Okay, so that's important. What's even more important, if we go to February the 28th, it's the 59th day of the year. Okay, so it's the 59th day of the year. So we've got another 5-9 reference, okay? Oh, blimey now. Okay, well, let's make it a little bit better. What do I want to go to now? Let's go back to that second. Where was it? Here. And let's just look at the last date. You can't hardly make it out on here, but it's 1995. Okay, so now we have another 9559 reference with 1995. So you couldn't almost put, I mean, I guess they could have had 1959. would have been the only way they really could have got another 5-9 reference in there, I guess. I don't know. Just interesting. So we have this date popping up. This is at the end of the season. This is towards the, I don't know if it's the actual last one or the, I think it might be just the last one actually. Episode, I don't know if they had 10. I don't know if they had 10 episodes or not. But anyway, there we go. That's really what I wanted to show you, was all of this stuff, and the fact that Mr. Robot is about bringing down the Matrix. Okay, if we go back to the chart of Lorraine, I will go back through this one last time with the 5-9. Here's our 5-9 date. Okay, it's tying into this number jump right here from 9/11. Okay, and on the opposite side of this is our other number jump, and what this encodes is 100 days between these two sets of numbers. Okay, 100 like the dollar bill. Okay, 100 like 1010 of the Seta square. 10 times 10, 100. Okay, not the Slater square, but the Seta square. Okay, here's our 713 number, which is super important. Okay, and look, look what the number is above it. Okay, you're going to see 47 references all over the place at the minute, because it's referencing back to this. Okay, probably see a lot of 23 references, and again 23 could be 53 because they're mirrors again of one another. But this is the all important date here, which is the 129th day of the year. Okay, so I think I've re-emphasized enough now. And again, a lot of this stuff is decoded, is encoded in the dollar bill. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there because otherwise I don't really want this to be a hugely long video. Okay, I just really wanted to show you the date on the tombstone. So interesting. All right, well, anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, cheers, bye.